Refuge. A refuge is a place of safety. You could even call your bedroom a refuge if it makes you feel cozy and safe. Because of the storm, Anderson took refuge in his safe basement. Merge. When something merges, it joins together to form a single object. Flour and water can merge together to make dough for bread. Clara was fascinated as she watched the two rivers merge into one. A hostile and dangerous dog could bite a man's leg. Walking on a tightrope is precarious because you could easily lose balance. Monkeys usually dwell or live in jungles and trees. Drama students often have to improvise and make up things on the spot. You have to merge flour and water to make dough. Conform. To conform is to follow what other people are doing in order to fit in. Often, conforming means following the standards that are expected in a certain situation. For example, students may be expected to conform to rules within the classroom, such as listening to one another and being respectful. Sam didn't care that he didn't conform. He liked dressing in his own style. The image representing the word conform shows people following the rules and waiting in line. Precarious. If something is precarious, it is uncertain, unbalanced, or dangerous. For example, a wobbly ladder could be described as precarious. It would be dangerous to climb it. Precarious can also be used to describe uncertain things in life, such as a business being in a precarious financial situation after spending too much money. Isabel watched the tightrope walker on the precarious line at the circus.
The Sahara Desert. Abundant.
If something is abundant, there is lots of it. You probably have more of something than you need if it is abundant, such as food, money, or rainfall. For example, if you bought lots of soap when shopping, next time you opened the cupboard you'd have an abundant supply of soap.
Because it had rained a lot that year, there was an abundant supply of water.
Accommodate. If you accommodate something, you provide shelter for it. For example, you might accommodate your cousin when they visit by letting them stay at your house. To accommodate can also mean you go along with someone else's wishes, or change to fit their needs. If you accommodated your sister's desire to go to the seaside, you would go with her. The hotel was very large and could accommodate hundreds of guests.
Arid.
If a place is described as arid, then it is extremely dry and there is little, if any, rainfall. Often, plants find it difficult to grow in arid places because of this lack of water. Most commonly, the word arid is used to describe the desert.
Bruce hoped for rain as his plants were dying because it was so hot and arid.
Advance. To advance means to make progress or move forwards. This could be a literal physical movement or a more metaphorical type of progress. As a phrase, in advance means before something. If you got your train ticket before the day of travelling, you bought it in advance. The scientist was given a prize for helping medical research to advance.
Apparel.
Apparel is another word for clothes. It is most commonly used when talking about a specific type of clothes, such as children's apparel or formal apparel.
James felt so cool in his new sport apparel. If there is an abundant amount of wildlife, how much is there? There is lots of wildlife because abundant means lots.
Have another try. What does the word accommodate tell you about the camels and their humps? Camels use their hump for storing fat and keeping it there. We know this because they use their hump to accommodate large amounts of fat, and accommodate means having room for something. The word ample has a similar meaning to the word abundant. They both mean to have more than enough of something to fulfill a need. Sanctuary. A sanctuary is a peaceful and calm place, A quiet lake far away from cars and noise could be a relaxing sanctuary. Maxime felt relaxed in her bedroom and thought it was a sanctuary. Tangible. A tangible thing is something that you can experience by touch. An idea is not tangible because you can't touch it, but a book is because you can touch it. Sonia turned her idea into something tangible by making a real model of it. Disorientated. To be disorientated is to feel lost or confused. Someone may become disorientated by their surroundings, such as getting lost in an unfamiliar city. A person can also feel disorientated if they are confused by their thoughts and cannot work out what is true. After spinning round quickly, Sally felt disorientated. Cordial. If you are cordial, you are polite and warm. You might behave in a cordial way to a stranger you haven't met before. Henry loved his English class because his friends were so cordial and were never horrible to one another.
The Bedouin people. Burden. A burden is a difficulty or problem that is normally unwanted and annoying. Having a broken leg when your friends are going swimming is a burden. The word burden is also used to refer to a heavy weight or a load that is difficult to lift or carry. James said that learning spellings was an unwanted burden. Construct. If you construct something, you build or create something, like constructing a plan to escape. Wendy has to construct more interesting sentences in her writing. Capacity.
The capacity of something is how much it can hold or do. You have a certain amount of capacity as a person, which means the amount of energy you have for something, like your work capacity being the number of tasks you can complete. The capacity of an object like a water bottle is how much of something it can hold.
Mason had to stay at school because there wasn't the capacity on the coach. Barren. If something or somewhere is barren, it is empty and lifeless. A barren place is a place with no life, like the surface of the moon. Kyle said that the picture of the desert looked dry and barren. Blunder. A blunder is a silly mistake, like if you answered the wrong question in an exam. Casey left his sports kit at home, which was a silly blunder.
The desert is described as barren. What does this mean?
A blunder is a silly mistake. If the tent wasn't secure in a storm, it would be a blunder. What's another word for space? What's another word for space?